Okay, we're going on mute.
Me too.
Niles and that person's gonna get on. No, he's gonna watch it. Yeah. I tell him. Okay. Give him.
Hey, Mike. Like that Katarina Nash one?
Yeah, I do. Be nice to have her with us today, but we'll wait maybe next year.
Talk about that too.
Well, thank you, Queen, once again for sharing your great classic song with us. Well, welcome everybody. It's Sunday. I hope you rode your bike. Welcome back to CampoVelo Day 3, sponsored by Cliff Bar. The day of our big ride, Sunday. Today has been our big ride for years, our big bash, our big silent auction to support No Kid Hungry and the Napa Valley Vine Trail Coalition. So a big thanks to all our partners out there today. Our featured beverage today for all those that consume Mad Fritz original beer, origin beer. Their headquarters right by Cliff family, the beautiful chateau they have there in St. Helena. So thank you, Mad Fritz, for being there. He's a cyclist beer master, Niall Zakharal. His origin beer is unlike any other. And as Gary mentioned yesterday in his guest appearance, our craft beer makers, like all local companies, having just some speed bumps, rough times these days. So please support your local breweries and businesses so that we can all get together next year. So happy birthday to anybody that is having a birthday this weekend. Also, we want to wish you all the mothers a week of fun and love, and happy Mother's Day to all our Mother's Day out there a week early. So this is your week. Also keep in mind the Hooligans, Wahoo, one of our sponsors, all the Hooligans, the Wahooligans, the SUF, THE, the word the, and then SUF. So THESUF.com/ALLIN. So thesuf.com/all-in. And that'll get you a 44-day free membership to Wahoo. They'll get you on that bike so much quicker and you'll be more fit. Kohler Chocolate Mint Chip Hand Sanitizer is coming out this week. A perfect gift for Mother's Day. Anything in Kohler Chocolate. Chris was with us last night doing the Spur of the Moment Cinnamon Challenge, which was a classic. He will be out there this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, getting ready for Mother's Day. So stop by Kohler Chocolate. Cliff Family Winery, they have put together Adventure Awaits gift sets, so you can get those up at the winery as well in St. Helena. So we also had a report, without support, we could not have bike events, SAG. We need someone to follow and sweep all our athletes. Dana Myers, he's watching. He was out there this morning just riding around, being a SAG guy. Gary was looking for people with flats. He was willing to help out. He was handing out Cliff Bars to anybody who would take one, and everyone was grabbing them, of course. So thank you, Dana Myers, our SAG wagon for 4 years now. Chris Killian also watching out there. Jen Chapman, thank you for watching. Virginia Luke, and of course, Rita Burris, thank you for all your support. I want to thank all our partners, our sponsors. You know, ever since different economic changes and crisis, sponsorship goes up and down. And Cliff Bar has been consistently in the endurance world for 30 years, at least 28. ASOS Cycling Gear also stepping up this year as our apparel sponsor. Giant and Live Bikes, Cola Vita Olive Oil, First Republic Bank, our local bank, where it's always a privilege to serve you. Thank you. Vans Off the Wall, they've got a custom shoe. Wahoo, of course, Mad Fritz in Napa Valley, Kohler Chocolates, Rocket Vodka, Cara Lind from Cara Cupcake, she was here yesterday. Topo Chico Bubble Water, and of course, Ride Napa Valley. Without our partner sponsors, we could not have these events. We also want to recognize the two benefactors of this event. The Chef Cycle, No Kid Hungry. Today, 4.5 million meals were served from the financial support of Chef Cycle. And locally here, the Napa Valley United School District received $25,000 recently, 2 weeks ago, and that provided 13,000 meals to underprivileged kids in the Valley area here. Also, the Vine Trail, the Napa Valley Vine Trail, 18 miles are paved. It's a 44-mile goal. So we're about 44% through with our 44-mile paved path from Vallejo north to Calistoga. So those are our benefactors. We also could not do it without our consistent people, plank owners. In the Coast Guard and the Navy, if you're the first crew on a vessel, once it's commissioned, you're a plank owner. These are the people that have been with us for 4 years. So thank you to the following athletes, cyclists, adventurous, enthusiasts, foodies, whiners. Not whiners, but winos, you know what I mean. Neil and Sue Amsten, Erlen Bowe, John W. Bruns, Teresa Chiarello, Kim and George Constas, Michael Dudasco, Karen Edmonds, Christine Fitzpatrick, Michelle and Christos Galapanolos, Blake Gilmore, Scott Gronick, Lisa Herrig, Tom and Caitlin Brown have been here all 4 years, Amit John, Kelly Kennard, Garth McCune, Vicky Neverman, David O'Connor, the running Reverend Dan Perkins and his wife, Joy Perkins, Dan, an Ironman triathlete, Mary Redfern, Sean and Kristen Roberts, Ethan Romanes, Joe Slamovich, Randall Sosnick. Who else do we have here? Sandy Spanglenberg, Tolan Steele, Rod Tarragon, and last but not least, Anush Z. Barjidan. So without these athletes of consistency, we could not have these events. So thank you to our incredible, consistent athletes. But alas, like Newman and Seinfeld, alas, he said it well. Today, as you know, it's a virtual Velo, and we're honored to be here with some incredible guests, people that I've known personally for many years. That's been an honor. But I also believe most of you, the greater cycling community, knows. And now, a lot of our healthcare and frontline workers who weren't familiar with the products in the last few months have definitely been introduced. But before we get online with those two people, we want to take 60 seconds for a video flashback, a flavor flashback, an experience flashback. And that's what CampoVelo is, an experience to build community on 2 wheels. Let's watch a video flashback of what was last year's Saturday night, our little Indy at the world famous Calistoga Speedway here in the beautiful state of California. Let's roll that tape.
So here we are at the world famous Calistoga Speedway, about ready to start. I don't even know what we're doing here.
We've got a relay race going on that's like the little Indy at Breaking Away, and it is super fun.
4 laps, really rough, 1 speed, flat pedals.
Been warming up all day in the hot tub drinking wine, so I'm really ready to rock and roll.
Never done anything like this before, but it looks crazy, and wish me luck. Unbelievable! There they go! Yeah. This is absolute sheer insanity.
Now look at these transitions.
so many good things happening here. We've got great food, we've got some good wine, good beer.
John, please welcome Western.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed that video. So, with no further ado, please welcome to CampoVelo Virtual Sunday, Kit Crawford, Gary Erickson from Cliff Bar, Cliff Family Winery, Cliff Farm. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi to all of our friends out there. We miss you.
I know this is so hard. This is hard not to be able to see everybody and ride bikes. And I mean, well, the riding bikes is hard. This is easier, but it's hard not seeing you.
I see that, Eric. You're writing.
Yeah. The bar, the original,
Bar.
although no. And then we got Katrina. She's awesome.
Yeah, Katarina Nash.
Yeah, get it while it lasts, because, and then if you see Katarina, have her sign it, because it's a limited edition. But we wanted to honor Katarina for her 20 years as a pro cyclist, one of the great cyclists in America and from the Czech Republic. Has won more races than we have. All together of us have fingers and toes.
Yeah, she had to buy a bigger house for all the trophies and awards.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, Sea Otter, I've given her, I'm a 20, 30 pounds of acrylic hardware. Well, how are you guys?
You've announced her, by the way, you've announced her so many times crossing the finish line, right?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Okay,
And, you know,
go ahead.
an Olympian, as you know, 5 times in cross-country skiing and on the road. 7 wins in UCI cyclocross, and then she broke 7 ribs in one fall. Tough woman. But how are you guys doing? You know, have you been? I mean, there's been so much going on. You're so progressive in the environment and sustainability, but you're also one of the first companies to shut down. What's it been like? You've got 2 different bakeries in the nation. You've got a huge staff in Emeryville, Alameda. What has it been like for you guys?
Well, we're hanging in there. It's hard. It's hard not being together with our people in Emeryville at the office. Our bakeries are open though. And so we've got protective gear for everybody and taking temperatures, and our bakeries are still running and with lots of sanitation in place, and we're still creating bars. There's been a real demand for them, especially last month. Well, what was it, March, I guess, when people were panic buying. It was crazy. We couldn't put them out fast enough.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, statistically, everyone, of course, heard about the rush for paper goods and water, but your product was one of the top products grocers were saying was moving off the shelves. Talk about that.
It's true. That was March. And then April hit, and nobody's going to grocery stores as much as they were, and they're not buying this with the same behaviors as they did before. It's real basic. Cliff Bar is an impulse buy, and we think they stocked up in their pantry, and we need you all to start eating the Cliff Bars you put in your pantry, because we went up and then we went way down. I mean, let's be frank.
Everybody did.
Everybody, in our whole category. We're way below, way below right now.
Yeah.
But that's allowed us to produce bars to give away. So we have the capacity. We're paying our people whether we're in production or not. So we're staying in production 99% of the time, and that's allowed us. I mean, we would have given the bars to healthcare workers either way and to food banks, but
well, let's talk about. Go ahead, Kit. Go ahead.
Oh, it's unpredictable right now all the chefs are feeling it, the restaurants are feeling it, we're all feeling it. It's just like totally unpredictable. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. It's like a roller coaster, and no one knows where it's going to kind of even out, but it will even out. I have hope, and I have a lot of optimism that, once we figure this out, whatever that means exactly with testing, vaccinations, all the science that we need to have in place, that we'll level out and figure out how to get through this.
I think I know where your next question is going to go, but before that, we talked about the bakery a little bit. I want to clarify that even before COVID, when you go into our bakery, um, you look like you're going into a clean room in Silicon Valley. That's how clean we have been. We've always been that way. Like when we go there, it's like it takes us 15 minutes just to get dressed to go into the bakery with all the stuff. So we felt once this happened that the safest place they could be is in our workers could be in our bakery. Also, we're very automated. So people are generally 10, 20 feet apart because we're kind of really spread out. So on top of that, though, we did add a lot of protocols just as a backup. So we feel really good about that. And our people are like warriors. They're proud to make our product. They're proud to make it. And if you saw our Instagram post a few weeks ago, that's our people from the bakery being proud to, as we say, baked with love, sent with gratitude.
And that's
Yeah.
because of you. That's the leadership that you are. Because the best thing is when you do need to adapt, if you are as innovative as you two have been, because I know, I mean, I was reading it for years on your green, your sustainability, the value you put on your people. Lucas User, one of my buddies, our Napa guy, he just speaks so highly of you guys just because of the way you work with everybody, whether it's your senior financial officer or the newcomer, everybody, so the ethos that you have and you've produced for years, it's easy to adapt to these weird conditions because you're already innovative.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that
good on
is,
you.
it was
Thank you.
sort of easy to do the right thing because we already have a lot of this in place with our 5 aspirations, our 5 bottom lines. So that was it was like, of course we're going to support our community. That was the first thing we thought of. What can we do? What can we do for our community and how do we keep our people employed? I mean, that was the way we were thinking right from the get-go.
And
But it
Rebecca Koch and Chris Cosentino 4 years ago came up with this idea of let's blend the merging of community cycling, food and wine and passion together. And so you were on your way to Indian Wells to hit some tennis balls with the legend Venus Williams, one of your athletes, and founders of different good focus that you're working on. So talk about that, what it was like at Indian Wells early on in March, and what happened since then.
Well, she didn't promise I was going to hit balls with her, but we probably would have said hi to each other. No, she's one of our new athletes, and what can you say?
She's an amazing woman.
What a rock star!
Yeah.
God.
She's very passionate about her communities. She's been giving away bars to her schools that she went to, her and her sister went to in Compton, and as little girls, and everybody's finding ways to give back, which is really cool because that's just who she is.
I think what we appreciate about all the athletes that we've brought onto the Cliff roster, the Cliff team, is that there's a lot of humility. Venus Williams is one of the most humble people we've ever met. She is just she is so down to earth. You don't know. No one knows because they see her. She's a superstar, but she's incredibly personable. She's not as humble as Lucas, that I know is on this. I can see he's watching right now. And Lucas is one of the most humble people too, and we are so happy to have him as one of our Cliff people.
It's been interesting because we get so much information, some misinformation. People look at Dr. Fauci or whoever, and there's a lot of other misinformation out there. Who have you guys been getting your network of information from to help dictate the next steps and moves for your product?
You mean from the government?
For dealing with through COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, just where are you really getting your resources from?
We're watching Gavin Newsom to see what
Yep.
the state is doing because it's a
Yep.
state thing for our headquarters, and then we have to watch Indiana governor, and we have to watch our Idaho governor, and see what everybody's doing because everybody's doing everything, right? So then we have an interpreter, one of our people, our legal counsel at Cliff Bar. She's been sort of interpreting everything and go, this is what we do here, this is what we do here, and this is what we do here.
She's doing all the heavy lifting
Yeah.
and all the research.
What's her name?
We're meeting every morning. We have like a little task force, and we meet every morning and find out, what's going on with everybody. And And then our HR department's working double time, comms
Oh,
department.
it's just the detail of having, 1,222 employees and trying to keep them all employed and taken care of and given the right information. And how we have a childcare center that's closed down, so blah blah blah. And what just it's like, we call it just minute by minute being attentive, and then we're just doing. It's like this. We call this like a circle of 3 A's: attentive, adapt, and act. And we're just constantly going around in circles going, what do we need to be attentive to right now? And then we talk about how do we adapt. And then we like, do we take action? Okay, let's take action. And through COVID, we've had to take action. We closed down our office, 5 days before Newsom. We just knew it was coming.
Mhm.
Did a shelter in place. Was so.
Yeah, we did it ourselves. We were just like,
We just knew we knew it was happening.
too weird.
And not a
Let's-
lot of companies did that. Once again, good foresight, guys. Okay, well, moving on. 6 million bars. The 6 million bar donation. You guys donated 6 million bars in the last 6 weeks. Is that correct? Where did that idea come from? And how easy was it to reach the medical institutions? I want to hear about that.
This is a good
Please.
story.
Please.
Go ahead. Karen.
Go.
No. First of all,
you started.
okay, so our goal is 10 million. We've given 7 so far.
Nice. This just in, 7 million.
Yep, and we've got 3 more to go.
Beautiful.
So one of the big things that happened was with our employees was we have a bunch of field people. We have events. You know this. You're not going to
Yeah.
your events right now. We can't pass out bars. So what do? So we have about how many field people said?
Close to 30.
30 field people kind of placed all over the country. And we asked them to help us give bars to the local hospitals or medical centers.
Or in their state. Just do the research.
We asked them to do the research. They got back to the community team. And then we had our logistics team, our community team, and our field teams just like working it.
So those are the people like you were at the Boston Marathon with me a few years ago. They're the ones that are at our booth handing out bars. They have a lead. They're the lead, and then they hire local friends to be part of our it's their sub I can't speak. So they hire field reps, and then they hire a group, and then that's who you see. Well, they're out of work because we're not doing any events. Like you're not doing any events, so we redeployed them. This is one of those being attentive. Like how can we find all the hospitals and do it authentically and really know that it's going to get there to the right people. So they're doing all the heavy lifting, and then we asked our athletes to do some heavy lifting.
Yeah, they're in the next wave.
So that idea, by the way, so this is how it works sometimes. So I'm out on a run with my dog, and I've come up with, we had already given out about 3 million bars to healthcare workers. To food banks mostly, and a few healthcare workers, and then just had this brainstorm in my head and came home and drew up this. You're not going to read everything here, but like it's like creating an ad with a Sharpie.
Wow.
And the idea was like, let's give out 3 more million bars, and call the team. That day I sent that sketch out to a group and said, let's roll. Let's get this out. And within 1 week, we had the entire plan done, which involved all those reps we were talking about, and legal, logistics. And what's really cool is like we have 3 distribution centers around the country. And so once the order goes in, because the order taking was insane too. Like we could have gotten way over our skis with this, because logistically, some companies tried it and they went, what did we just get ourselves into? So we had to make sure we weren't going to be, something we couldn't handle. And so we sent, so what was I going to say?
We ask everybody to go to the reps.
So yeah, anyway, we ended up the next Friday started sending out bars, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Tremendous. That's worthy of emulation, and everybody hopefully can either go through their closet and find some clothing they haven't worn in a while, or if they're owner of a company like you. Great thing is though, you two can do this on such a quick level, a quick, pivot, where other companies you might have sold to back 20 years ago for 120 million or whatever it was, they'd have taken a month, and then the problem would have gone away before their solution would have hit the deck. Well, good on you once again. So we've got and those field service reps. I've worked with your Cliff people for the Boston Marathon, and working all around Ironman Hawaii. Those field service reps are the road warriors. They really are, and I'm not surprised they went from marathons to the front lines. It's good.
And Eric,
good.
think how fulfilled they are.
They said that was the best field event they've ever done.
I mean, they're just
Maybe in
like,
their life.
they're so thankful. One, they're out of work. Two, now they just got kind of redeployed, so to speak, to do something that is like super purpose driven. And they are so happy so fulfilled for doing this.
Any last words of wisdom on how we can just take it? Any wisdom before we get to our next topic?
Wisdom, are we leaving you?
No. I'm still
okay.
on. We're going to a next topic though.
Okay.
Equality. Not
Yeah.
only do your bars see you got your original bar and your Katrina bar. But
is this a surprise?
now,
Look at she
yes,
got
it is,
wine.
but hold on.
Okay.
We want to talk soccer first.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about Czechoslovakian skiers and
All right.
cyclists yet. And legends like she is. We want to talk about soccer, equality. The U.S. women's national soccer team, they got our attention back in 2016 and even more recently. Almost $32,000 difference in bonus for the men and women. Equality is very important to you guys in, ethnicity, gender, everything's, it's just the way it is in your company. Talk about the And Do It Now initiative and the Luna Bar wrapper that you have and the equality and what you did for the women's soccer team. Because there was a financial component as well.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll start because she's going to go get one of those equality bars, which we
Please.
Really
Some days.
So, I mean, I don't know where to start. It was, hey, I played soccer in high school and junior high. And back then they didn't even have soccer leagues. It was just school stuff. And that was my second favorite sport at the time. I was baseball and then soccer. And anyway, that has nothing to do with why we did this, but definitely love the sport. We both love the sport. Our kids play soccer. And our team, we'll go real close. This is Sunday
Nice.
is now. So our Luna team, so we've been doing the equal pay. You talk about the history of our equal pay.
Yeah, we've
program.
been doing this
Equal pay.
Someday Is Now campaign for quite a while. And we did workshops to help women negotiate at work to get equal pay and ask for raises. And we've been doing this work for a really long time, kind of from all the way from the beginning of Luna Bar, really, is like focused on women and equality. But this has really come to a head this past year with U.S. women's soccer team, which we just found out that yesterday they had the case thrown out of court that they were in. They're going to appeal it though. So, but it's just sort of been insidious. Both, I'm sure that we've felt it in sport before, and we felt it at work, and where you're not paid equally for equal work. And so it's just something that has always been an ethos for Luna Bar. So the team came up with this idea, which was fabulous, is to make up the difference in the roster bonus, right?
Out of pocket money from you guys to the women's soccer team.
Yeah, and part of
Tremendous.
it was just, it was kind of, you might call it a stunt or whatever, but we didn't like really promote it as a stunt or like, hey, look what we're doing. We just thought, this is wrong. And it came from that place, but it was also, out of respect for the work that they do. And like, why wouldn't they get paid the same as the guys? What's up with that? And
Yep.
I'm sure, a lot of female athletes feel this way, and it's still happening. There's not equality out there yet. And I don't know why. They have a lot of lame reasons, and nothing holds water in the end. So we're going to continue the battle. And one of our athletes is Megan Rapinoe at Cliff Bar. And she's was really excited to get on board with this and be one of our athletes. So it was really cool that she she's with us now.
Well done, Gary. What do you got to say
But,
about
well, and this all started 20 years ago, as far as sports goes, with forming the Luna Pro Team, which is now the Cliff Pro Team. Which it's a little sad to have transitioned the team to the Cliff Pro Team, because it meant a lot as an all women's mountain bike team, and it still is. It still has impact, but I mean, I'm hoping Katerina would back me on this. I see her here. The idea was that even the sport of cycling, it was unequal. Like, prize money was not the same. So this was our statement of women. We're gonna build a world-class team that's now the longest running pro team in the history of America, the winningest team in the history of pro America in America, winningest pro team, and we have. I think we've really tried to set a standard for that. Women should be paid close to men. It's not always exact. We're not going to say it's exact, but pay a fair wage for women in the sport that really was unequal. I mean, you see it in every sport, but in cycling, it's gotten better. I hope it's gotten better, but
well, as much as you're into equality, when this woman lines up on the start line, there's no equality, because she will drop everybody like first period chemistry. 7 broken ribs in one crash. 7 UCI cyclocross titles. 5 times she's represented in the Olympics. I've given her a lot of acrylic at Sea Otter. She represented at 17 years old in Atlanta, and then she represented at 38 years old. She's still competing in her 40s, believe it or not, even though she looks 20. She's unbelievable. Please welcome, as a special guest, we cooked this up this morning. Thank you for being here, the great Katerina Nash. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Hi, everybody. Well, thank you for having me. This is great and nice to see everybody during the CampoVelo weekend, and of course, cheers to everybody.
Yes. It's time to sip, everybody. Let's take a break. Okay, everybody hit it. Okay.
Is kombucha okay?
Anything is good.
So you were with us in 2018, representing the Cutters. There was our little picture of you after you went for it, and that was a great night at Saturday at the Speedway. How are things going? We've had some questions about what's it been like to be trying to stay in shape. You just got off your bike. I think you still, about an hour ago, you were still on your bike. What's it been like to train without racing?
I was cutting it a little bit close today. Yes, adventuring. But no, honestly, really, really strange times. But I want to say thank you to Kit and Gary and Lucas, who kind of asked me to help out with the project that you guys talked before, the soccer, which is the Cliff Bars going to the healthcare workers. And perhaps just like the field marketing, I felt the same. I was doing something meaningful, and it just felt so good to have a project to work on and help people that really needed these late night snacks or during the long shift during days. And so thank you guys for not just coming up with the idea, for doing it, and for involving some of us with that particular project.
Where did you distribute bars with the field service reps?
I kind of went a little crazy. Lucas probably confirms later on.
We're not surprised. Go ahead.
I did take care of my local community, so I started kind of Truckee, Sacramento, squeezed in Reno after the deadline, and actually worked with a couple hospitals through my cyclocross connection. So some bars went to Iowa and somewhere to Seattle. So just all over the place. And it was a pretty fun project to work on.
Gary, Kit, tell us about this young cyclist, cross-country skier, the plank owner of your team, being around since '02. What do you think of this athlete here?
Well, I tell you what, we've got our team manager, Dave McLaughlin, the general manager of the team. He had an eye for talent. He spotted Thomas Frischnick back in the day,
Hmm.
and he told Tom Ritchie, "You got to pick this guy up," and the rest is history on that.
Well
And when
done.
he saw Katarina was a Nordic skier, Nordic racer. I don't know, Katarina, how many mountain bike races had you been in by the time Dave spotted you?
Well, I did. I did
0.
already competed at the Olympics, actually, but I took a somewhat longer break to really make it onto the mountain bike scene. It was more like a part of my summer training.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was looking for a team in the US because I was attending the university at the time. Um, I did not have tremendous resume and I did not have any racing experience in the US. So there wasn't a whole lot that they could really, look up. Um, and yeah, I really gave cycling a chance once I first joined Luna and eventually retired from skiing
Yeah, I
and
mean,
made
you
my
had
shift, to cycling.
yeah, you had definitely been a Nordic, that was your background, and with some cycling. It's very hard for people to make transition, but I think what Dave saw in you is an engine, and he knew you had the engine. You just needed to get on a bike and build the
Yeah,
skill,
and I mean,
right?
Dave knew the kind for sure. He himself was a cross country skier, and
Yeah, they're
I
very good.
definitely consider a lot of the cross country skiers, amazing athletes, and we do have a ability to switch around different sports. And I definitely took my time to develop into the world class athletes. And thanks to the team and also the riders on the team and the staff that helped me and guided me through that process, I was able to get to the top of the game in both mountain biking and cyclocross. But it didn't happen overnight, but it definitely was thanks to the structure in place, the support from you guys. And I honestly, when I first signed with Luna Cliff Bar in 2002, I was kind of thinking, well, 2 years, I got 2 years in college. I just want to ride my bike until I get my degree and we'll see. And
Yeah, right.
2002 is a long time ago, and I'm still riding my bike and still really proud to represent Cliff Bar.
And Katerina, you've been so consistent and very gracious. You remember we were talking about Venus being really gracious and a kind person. Katerina, same thing. She's always
Absolutely.
been super solid and
Yeah, we kind of fit in the same category. Yeah, thank you, with Venus.
Absolute. What are you talking about?
yeah, in
Absolutely.
your world, in
Ah,
her world. No, I mean, that I think also having someone like Katerina on the team, a veteran kind of person is it's really been nice when people come into the team to have someone that's been there for a while that's
mhm.
like, just calm down, it's going to be okay, someone
Yeah,
like that. And Katerina's been that for us.
a great mentor to the younger athletes.
Yeah.
But once
Not
again, that was the environment when I was the rookie. We had Allison
Allison
Dunlop,
Yep.
Dunlap.
Yep.
Yep.
Carla Strep, and
Yep.
they were a bit older than me, but they were there to help me with this new world and with this challenge. And so it's uh it's our obligation, and honestly, there's been like a lot of times when it's very rewarding because sometimes our job is kind of strange in a way, because if you win the bike race, everybody else in the field is kind of sad. So if you can help out the younger generation to figure out how to win the bike race and how to do the proper job for the sponsors, I don't know, to me it felt very rewarding. So
Mhm.
I've definitely enjoyed that process. Um, and yeah, I will always help out the younger riders with anything they need.
Yeah.
20-year veteran of the team. Unbelievable to get Allison Dunlap and Marla Strebe as mentors. It takes a team. It also takes athlete marketing managers, and it takes authentic marketing managers. There's a lot of people getting involved in endemic sports that have no business being involved in endurance sports because they have no background in it. It'd be like me trying to put on a Tupperware party. I'd have no business doing it. But we have an authentic, genuine article. He used to race around the world for 12 years as a pro cyclist himself, but now he is seen often racing around the living room, chasing his 2.5-year-old daughter and his 4-month-old son. Please welcome to the virtual CampoVelo, a Napa native, but now out of Boulder, Colorado, L.E. Cool Lucas user. How are you, my friend? Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me.
So you have spoken so highly about these guys. Tell us, what do we got in front of us here? The great Kit and Gary. Talk about the passionate bosses that you got.
That's a long list. I know they hate to hear it. I know they hate to hear it, but it's a long list. I'll start personal. I've known them for longer than I've worked at Cliff Bar. They've welcomed me into their home for a dinner. They've taken time out at events to say hi, to congratulate me, to pat me on the back when things didn't go so well. Only to come around after leaving the professional peloton to step into Interbike with only a backpack. I bought a plane ticket 2 days prior, and I did not have a place to sleep that night. I knew I was 9 months into my quote unquote retirement, and I needed to find a job, and I didn't know where else to look but Interbike. And so I went and I bought my own way and found a loophole to get in, got a badge. Literally the first person I walked into was Gary, and he doesn't know this story. But I saw him at the entrance. It was in a little cafe outside, and he stopped and took time to tell me his update and his story, only to pop back into Interbike for the next couple of days and pretty much just lurking around the Cliff Bar booth for as long as I possibly could. And I ended up winning the cornhole competition that they were hosting, as I was partnered with the CEO at the time, Kevin Cleary. So I pretty much say I just won my way into Cliff Bar. I was the victor of the
Gosh,
I have a trophy on my desk that says champion of throwing little things in smaller things. It's in German. I don't know exactly what it says.
Totally cool.
But yeah, the pathway to Cliff was very organic, and having leaders like Kit and Gary have opened my eyes to what true leadership really is. I did not experience that on the bike, but I've experienced that in the professional world, where I rely so much more on those mentors and those people in my life that set those precedents, because I'm trying to do the same for my family and my kids.
Talk about CampoVelo. You've been involved with it for a while, and you're a native of Napa, and you've been involved with it for the future when we have it next year in our modified new reality, which we're going to do next year. Why would people watching right now come up to the Calistoga Speedway with your background picture there? Yeah, the Cliffsters.
Give a quick little sneak peek there. CampoVelo is just a really unique event. I have to go back to Napa, being in the Napa Valley, being a very special place to visit. There's a magic in that valley. I was born and raised there, but I have seen it in ways beyond just being my birthplace. The fact that it is such fertile land for some of the best wine in the world, some of the best agriculture in the world, some of the best people in the world, it is a testament to the fact that it just carries a magic that other places just don't. So hosting an event on that soil, and an event that follows a passion that I've always had, that took me all around the roads of Napa, and then eventually took me out of Napa and around the world. It's such a unique and special place to ride a bike and also to gather as human beings. So CampoVelo just embodies all of those elements: community, connection, fun, passion, all of it. It all comes together in this really unique and eclectic event.
Awesome, good answer. Well, Gary, who's next? We got about 15 more minutes. There are 2 questions. We've had some people email, and this question and stick with us, Katerina, stick with us, Lucas. We got a few more items you don't want to miss. Check out this picture. Apparently, Mark Mervis. This is Mark Mervis. Apparently, you guys know him. And he was,
Katerina and Lucas know him.
yeah, he's showing his hippie dog show. He's usually a little tighter crop on the coiffure, but he's like, the question is, what do you think of my COVID hair? My name is Mark Mervis.
It looks like it did when he was in jail for 25 years. Oh, I'm sorry, he wasn't in jail. He was working in jails.
Okay.
Details, Gary. Details.
We'll get that story.
Jail cop. Sorry, Mark, I don't have the right language down, but I've ski raced with Mark. I've traveled with him. We've done cycling in Europe together with him and Kit and his wife Annette, and I've heard some stories.
Okay, we got another question.
I
think you got to go bigger. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Keep it going, Mark.
Mark,
So
let it go. You
bigger.
know how those guys do beards? I think you got to let it go,
Yeah.
dude. Just like grow it out, you know?
Yeah.
Go natural.
There you go. All right, Mark, I hope that was a good answer for you. Our next question is from Celeste and Austin McInerney from Berkeley. Two-part question that actually has already been answered, number two. The number one question, share a bit about the Cliff Bar Family Foundation and its priority areas of foundation. What is the Cliff Bar Family Foundation all about? Kit.
Yeah. Cliff Bar Family Foundation is our foundation. And it's what we do is we fund small nonprofits, generally in health and environment. And it's a big job. You can go onto our website and check it out. Cliff Bar
Is it
Family.
now Cliff Family?
I think we're going to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to.
We're taking the bar part out.
But it still might be there. So
Cliff Family Foundation.
Yeah, Cliff Family Foundation or Cliff Bar Family Foundation.
Okay.
And check it out. But you can see all the different organizations that we support all over the country.
Which is hundreds, because we like to do smaller amounts to more. And they really appreciate it because we give it to the general fund. We don't earmark it. We trust them. They love it because they're like, we just need general funds to keep the lights on. And everybody wants to give money and make sure it's earmarked for something. And that's cool too. But anyway.
Yeah, it runs really differently, and people are really interested in. Tao Pham has been the lead on that. She's the ED, and she's the executive director, and she's been just working really hard. We have a staff of not very many, but we fund a lot of organizations, small, 5,000 to 10,000.
We should note though that it's funded 100% through Cliff Bar's revenue.
Right.
So 1% of Cliff Bar's revenue goes to charity causes, nonprofits, and most of that goes through the foundation. Some of it goes through regular fund because it can be looked at as kind of marketing. You know, it's a legal thing, but yes, so we don't we don't really ask for money. We're not raising money for this foundation. It's 100% funded through Cliff Bar right now.
Just occurs naturally, organically, with good thought, well planning from you two. Another person that we want to bring in, a special guest that is always working on budgets and fun, a lot of others, Ride Morning. He is the cycling congressman from District 5 here in Northern California. I voted for him, and I'm very proud to call him a friend and cycling cohort. Please welcome to day 3 of virtual CampoVelo, the great Congressman, Mr. Mike Thompson. Good afternoon, Congressman. Thank you for joining us. How are you, sir? Thank you for being you. Tell us about our friends.
You're muted.
Mike, you might be muted. Is he?
All right.
Huh.
Any audio? Our first hiccup. Can you hit that unmute on your screen, Congressman?
I could tell a Chris Costantino story in the meantime.
Okay.
That one,
Up, of
Gary.
course.
Well, my brother's a better friend to Chris than I am, but I'm the one that met him at a 24-hour solo mountain bike race in Tahoe, where he kicked my ass. But he kept me going all night, and we just became instant friends, and I've respected him ever since. And you don't know, he's a chef, but he never talks about this. The guy was an ass-kicking 24-hour solo mountain bike racer, and he did a lot of it. And I had to sleep
Race
at
pro.
night. He's like, I'm not sleeping. So
I'll never forget that night on the top of the mountain where we both got up there to the top, and there was that giant behemoth Red Bull truck, and you're like, I am not drinking that. I'm like, Gary, you are going to drink this with me right now, and it's going to be hot, and we will drink it together, and we're going to have it the Germanic way, hot, like a hot chocolate. You were like, I'm not doing it. I was like, you will finish the race if you drink this right now. And you did.
And I
you
did.
thanked me later. You thanked me later. But that
after the fourth one.
That was such a
I mean, you're so desperate, you'll do anything in the middle at 3 p.m. And I'm like, I'll try anything right now. Yes, Cliff Bars were working great and shot and all that, but I needed just to, and it was you. You're the one that got me into that drug. I've never done it since.
I was you know what they say, it's the first one's free.
No, I have a ton, and just, what you've done. And he's a great, Chris, a great friend of our chef at Cliff Bar, and John McConnell, and my brother has just become a Chris fan. And my brother is not the athlete that Chris is, but he knows food.
Do we have any audio from Congressman?
Mike, can
Are
we?
you with us, sir?
Mike, we want you.
We need you.
I've been talking to him nonstop. I don't think he wants to see me or talk to me anymore. I'm like, Mike.
Well, he's looking good with that beard. I hope we can hear him.
You know, I've been, Mike, can you please?
Yeah, as Mark said, he texted me. Mervis just texted me. He says, "I'm not cutting my hair until COVID is completely over." Like,
good.
Well, that's gonna be a while.
That is good.
You're gonna have long hair, dude.
I'm telling you, I like it. It'd be good.
There's been discussion in this house to raise money for Frontline Foods. I'm going to do what's called the haircut challenge, where I'm going to give myself completely obnoxious haircut for money, which would be the Bozo the Clown haircut. So if it hits 15K, I'll even dye it red for Frontline Foods. So it's getting pretty good. But if I shave out the center and dye it red, I think it would be pretty epic.
Awesome.
Congressman Mike Thompson, do we have you here?
No.
Oh, he was on before too.
Do we have audio from the congressman? Come in, St. Helena.
Can't production unmute him? They did with me before. They muted me before.
It's something on his end.
Oh, it is. Ooh.
His device is muted.
Can I give a shout out to Katerina for going above and beyond on the Feed the Fight ask. She said she went a little crazy, but she also just stepped up like she always does.
Yeah.
And I think on your behalf, Katerina, we donated over 50,000 bars. I have to do the total number, but it was pretty awesome to work on that with you and the rest of the team. But just to see your ambition on it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That was great. And the funny thing is, I just use my cycling connections. Like you traveling the world, traveling the country, we get to meet a lot of people, and we get to learn that these many other cycling friends, they have real important jobs. And so I reached out to those people that I knew, and everybody was so thankful. I'm sure you've got a lot of emails, but I'm always happy to forward more of these responses.
Sure. Bring them on.
Yeah,
it's been great to see. Yeah.
You know, I have to give a shout out.
Do we have any?
Give a shout out, Mike. You tell us when you're on. To my best friend, one of my best friends growing up, Jay Thomas, who's mentioned on the back of the Cliff Bar package. He's an ER doctor. He is one of the genesis of that giveaway program too, because early COVID days, we were talking that we would talk to him every week for 30, 45 minutes. And he would tell us what's going on in his ER department in Roseville, which apparently is the busiest ER department in California for some reason, Roseville, California. And he was just telling us the whole story about everything and how, we gave him some bars, and he said, it's the perfect product, perfect bar, because they don't have time. He says it takes them like 20 minutes to get out of their PPE. And then if they go outside, they got to redress. And now they can just, take the bar. So anyway, that was another reason that I'll have to hear my.
Do I have video? Do I have audio now?
You're on.
Yeah, you're on now. Mike.
Yeah, you did it.
We had to switch iPads.
Are we?
It's good to be with all of you.
Mike,
Hi.
please go, Mike. Go right ahead. Congressman Mike Thompson, 5th District, Northern California. Welcome, sir. It's your floor.
Thank you very much. Thanks for doing this, Rebecca. Thanks for setting it up. Gary and Kit, thanks for everything you're doing. You guys are absolutely fantastic as usual. And no, Chris, I'm not tired of talking to you. You're doing some good work also with the small business community. But it's good to be with all of you. It's good to see Lucas, and it's great to see that Katerina knows how well wine from the 5th Congressional District pairs with Cliff Bars.
Cliff Bar wine, of course.
That's right.
Congressman, you work with a lot of different companies out there, and you see examples, not sometimes good ones. Talk about what it's been like of you observing the practices of equality, sustainability, and green practices with Cliff Bar, sir.
Well, Gary and Kit really have set a high bar. They do a fantastic job. The product is incredible, and the fact that they really go the extra mile to make sure that it's not only does it taste good and provide the nutritional value, but it's the product that they use are sourced from the community, an agricultural community that grows and produces only the best organic materials around. So they're fantastic, and they're philanthropic contribution not only to our local community but across the country is pretty fabulous. And I know that 10 million Cliff Bars to food banks and to healthcare providers is really laudable. And I would say that even if my wife weren't a nurse working through this COVID time right now. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Keep going.
You found our
Gary.
you got our new number.
Yeah, you listened.
I don't think that's gone public yet, but okay, you heard it here.
That's our goal. We're doing
That's our next goal.
We only have about 2 minutes left, but I want to bring up Rebecca Koch, and I want each of you guys on this line to give us 30 seconds on why you guys are involved with CampoVelo and a great race director, organizer like Rebecca. Go, any of you.
Because
Mike?
of her. Go, Mike.
Yep.
Rebecca.
When Rebecca says we're going to do something, we do it.
Thank you, Mike.
Rebecca, what's it been like talking to Congressman, talking to Gary, talking to Chef Chris Cosentino? What's it been like trying to organize this over the last few months?
Well, okay, so Chris, I just want to see that haircut happen. I want to see that challenge. He's a sassy one and really fun to work with. But oh, speaking of sassy, there you go. You
nose,
too.
Chris. You can borrow my red nose for the bozo.
Oh,
You know, Eric, I just feel so blessed blessed and honored to be with some incredible people in Napa Valley. I will go back to what Lucas says. It's pretty magical here to be in this community with incredible people doing good things for our community and for the world. And I always have my super fun bike rides with the congressman. He's pulling me or I'm pulling him, and we're cruising around the valley, and it's great. And Gary and Kit, I get to see them from afar, from online, but you know, I truly am so grateful. And it's really fun to create these experiences for everyone. And 2021, we'll be back, right? Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We'll be together in some way,
Chris
shape, or form.
Costantino, years ago, you wanted to get involved with a bike event. You know, connected with Rebecca. What it's been like? You raced pro. You've done many 24-hour races. You've opened many successful restaurants. What's it like to work with a person like Rebecca, Chris, chef?
You know, the thing for me that was just so, it was just her overwhelming love for the community and the bike and giving back. And it was just, there was nothing like it.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris.
We will ditto that.
So that she never
Well-
gives up. She's always looking for what to do better. It's really fun to see it happen. It's a Rebecca, you've done an amazing job just, you know, in the past couple of years to really bring something beautiful here and bring people together. And you're just you're very real, and you're always looking for what the good is in a situation. And you don't get flustered very easily. You got a good temperament for this.
Super humble.
Thank you.
Rebecca
Yeah.
and I save the fluster for private conversations. We save those
Right,
off.
exactly.
We
Just
save
for you,
those
just
off.
for you, Chris.
Okay,
We have
publicly
the
flustered.
conversations together. No, but I think that's one
Yeah.
of the most important things. It's just when Rebecca asked me to be a part of this, I was not only honored, but just so excited to do something, to give back, and just be a part of something that was real. You know, there's something so wonderful about riding your bike. It makes you feel like a little kid again. It really was the first moment of freedom we all really had as a kid. It's like, soon as you got to ride your bike, you could get so far away from your parents. It was awesome.
So true.
That's true.
That
And
is
now
so true.
it's
Without
like,
a helmet.
and now it's to be able to do that with your friends, and you know, to ride with Lucas and try to keep up with Katerina, which is completely impossible, and you know, just like be out there with everybody in such a beautiful place and ride up, you know, Ink Raid to Gary and Kit's house with the really cool signs that look like you're riding in Europe. It's just, it's powerful. And I think everybody that has come to the event keeps reaching out and saying it was the best event they've ever been to. And that's unanimous across the board. I'm surprised Bubba Worthy hasn't Zoom bombed us, speaking of.
Yeah.
So I have
Yeah.
a challenge to everybody.
Oh,
All you
good.
who are listening, I hope there's a lot of people listening. You need to raise your right hand right now. I wrote this down. And you need to promise you're going to be back next year. And you need to bring 5 more people to this event and get them to sign up and come to the greatest cycling event of the year. Okay?
Yep.
Right? Okay. You can
Awesome.
bring
Thank you.
yeah, you got it. And hi, yeah.
You guys can high five.
I do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. All right. But Rebecca, you want to say one last thing? Because Eric says we're out of time.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric says out of time. Okay. Yeah. But I want to say thank you, Gary and Kit. So grateful. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And I will hopefully see you on the roads, and I'll be following you online. Thank you.
Everybody for all
Thank you,
your
Mr.
hard work.
Thompson. Thank you,
Thank you.
Lucas. Thank you, Katerina. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric, thank
No
you. You're
problem.
always
My
there for us.
pleasure.
You're always there for
Thank-
everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Kit Crawford.
Thank you very
Gary
much.
Harrison,
Thank you, everyone.
Katerina
Be
Nash,
safe.
Okay,
No.
cycling family, we love you all.
Costantino,
Love you. Bye.
Congressman
Okay.
Mike Thompson, thank you for what you've done. Thank you, Mark
Thank you
Mervis,
for
Austin, and
donating.
Celeste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all our sponsors. Come and join us for CampoVelo 2020, the virtual. We hope to have you live in 2021. Enjoy your bike. Enjoy the day. Teach a kid how to ride a bike. Help people out. Be nice to each other. And eat your Cliff Bars. Have a good day. I announce events all over the world: Ironman Hawaii, Escape from Alcatraz, Boston Marathon. But CampoVelo really is one of my favorite weekends because of the community it builds, the people, and so we hope to see you next year here in the Napa Valley, 2021. So on behalf of Kit, Gary, Rebecca, Chef Chris, Congressman Mike Thompson, Lucas User, Katerina Nash, my name is Eric Gilsonen. It's been my pleasure once again to be the MC of this event. We look forward to seeing you back here. Please check out campovelo.com, ridenapavalley.com, and support our great events. Come to one, and you'll keep coming back for more. Good night now.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Aloha.
Ciao.